G'day punters, welcome to Victims of the Punt. We are here to review the first of the Championships days, headlined of course by the Doncaster, but it was a cracking day's racing on what was a decent enough race day as well in terms of the weather, which was a pleasant change there in Sydney. Mark Shean, Mark Rhoden and Rob Scurry are here to help me find a few winners going forward. And Mark Shean, if I start with yourself, how did you find the day overall as an experience?
Track played pretty well. Look, the inside was off, but you could rail up or stay close to the inside and cut the corner, and then they were winning down the outside as well. We had Straight Aaron come from back in race two. We had Heresy come from back out wide, Hitotsu wide, so I'd rather be betting on a track like that than, rails in run.
Absolutely. Mark Rhoden, look, some of the figures, as you'd expect, big figures on grand final day, but I think there's plenty to look at from a data perspective out of this meeting.
Definitely. A really enjoyable day's racing all told, even though I didn't find I eked out a win on the day, but it certainly wasn't my best ever punting performance, but I really enjoyed it as a day's sport. And I suppose maybe my opinions coloured by Heresy getting up in the last, maybe put a bit of a positive slant on things, but no, really good day's racing.
Yes, indeed. Bless its cotton socks. And Rob, for yourself, look, it's always, I guess, a busy day on course, but what was it like this year?
Oh, look, I pretty much kept to myself in the little corner, so I didn't get too much amongst it, just next in the theatre of the horse. So, it was a great day. The weather was nice. I went there sort of with trepidation that it's going to be a wet track, not really my go, but especially after spacewalk or whatever, just missed in the first. I thought not going to be my day, but best not to think like that. Take it as it comes, and it worked out in the end.
Okay, look, we'll start off with race 3, and then we'll run through races 6 through 10. But race 3 was the Adrian Knox Stakes for the 3-year-old fillies over 2,000 metres. In terms of the class, they've gone 1.6 lengths slow to the 600, so it's pretty much at even tempo. And it was a good finish there with Honeycreeper getting the job done. Rob, you had this one on top. 3-year-old fillies is your wheelhouse.
Yeah. Look, I thought this was a bunch of rubbish on the whole. I think I didn't even do my usual sort of horse appraisal. I just gave the numbers, which were 5 and 2 and 9. I think the stable's flying Godolphin. This horse was well ridden. I'm not sure if it's the Oaks horse, or I don't think the 5 is. That looked cherry ripe for the day. I have to just get the names up. But yeah, I think it's pretty much winner only here. My old girlfriend, number 11, Ty's Eye, looked the winner about 300 out, and she can't win a maiden on a Wednesday, so it's hard to see it being this sort of a vintage edition of the Adrian Knox. I don't think so.
Okay, Shane, what are your thoughts here?
Yeah, look, she was a standout from the yard, Honeycreeper. She trolled brilliantly with the blinkers on in between runs, and a beautiful ride here from Bowman. I got to agree, I don't think she's beaten much, but she has good wet form in the past, and she revelled in the ground there. So, just looking at her in the parade, she's obviously in good health at the moment, so that's going to take her a long way that she can get through the ground. Her stablemate Mamunia just got held up briefly at the top of the straight and was going from 1,300 to 2,000. So I think she can definitely improve once she steps up in distance, but still got a bit of ground to make up on the winner.
Okay. Mark Rhoden, is there anything besides the winner that you're following out of this race?
No, not for next week anyway. I think she's right in the race next week. We've got Gypsy Goddess and Hinged ahead of her in the betting at the moment. Yeah, is Hinged going to run 2,400? I don't know. That was pretty soft pace the other day. Gypsy Goddess given no chance last start, but it's been given the full benefit of that from that perspective in her price. Honeycreeper's fit in form. Loved her last 100. Just put an absolute hole in the last 100. I know they're no good, but she'll stay. She had a platform of performances to suggest she was going to do something like this. I'd never had a huge opinion of her, but looking at her form before the race, I said she's just gone to a certain level time and time again. She could have another level in her. She might be just maturing. I think she's in the race, but it's not going to be. It's not going to take a great horse to win it this year.
Yep. Okay. Well, let's have a look at the sires. 1,400 metres for the 2-year-olds. In terms of the tempo, bang on even. 0.1 lengths fast to the 600. And look, there was no real cash for Fireburn, but we did raise the spectre of SP, last start SP, and the money was coming for She's Extreme, but Fireburn was very easy in the finish, and I don't know, I guess Brenton Avdallah caught the wrath of the stewards to a certain extent with his little gesture there in the concluding stages to Tommy Berry, but I thought it was bloody good for racing. Can we all just have a sense of humour at some stage? Rob, what did you think?
Oh, look, I'm struggling with these 2-year-olds this year. I like the Melbourne horse, the 3 Let's Roll the Dice as much as any. I thought Fireburn has played as good as she has this whole time in. Like, she was a bit like Forgotten Love later in the day. She wasn't as sweaty as she usually gets. But yeah, she just looks like an okay horse to me. Same with She's Extreme. They all look pretty good. But yeah, I'll be glad to see the back of them when they turn 3. I guess we'll see them again when they turn 3. But for me, I think the Charlatan, the Joseph Pride horse, is going to turn out to be the best of them. But big call. Maybe Fireburn's just a wet tracky, But I love what Brenton did. I thought it was great theatre. I actually thought when She's Extreme kicked away, I thought she was going to win. And Brenton just had it. Was just just putting it through its gears. And yeah, it was a great spectacle. And 4,000. It's like he doesn't care.
Yeah.
What would he care?
Exactly right.
That's nothing. It's just worth talk. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, no. Mark Shean, it really does seem like Brenton Avdallah's got a good understanding what this horse has, because he's ridden her almost the same way the last couple of starts and just allowed her to go through the gears, as Rob said.
Yeah, look, there wasn't a lot of speed on early, as I think most people expected. And I've got to say, at the 300, I thought She's Extreme had probably pinched a winning break, but she just picked up so quickly in 2 strides. She went from probably a 10-1 chance to 2s on. She was just motoring at the finish, and very similar to what she'd done in the Golden Slipper. She's Extreme was brave, but was just outclassed. Away from the high back first and last. Show court, I don't know what happened to it. It's went like a cactus. Went disgraceful. Yeah. Anyway, Fireburn way too good.
Yeah, and what are you thinking going forward to the Champagne then?
Well, I couldn't see any problem with Fireburn. She paraded as she has previously, so you wouldn't think the tracks would be drying out if we're going to get plenty of rain here in the end of the week. So she's probably going to be on soft ground again the week after. I don't know what the forecast is, but not sure that it's going to dry out in the next couple of weeks. So I don't know where a winner is going to come to beat her in that race.
Okay. Mark Rhoden, what's your overview of this race?
I think these 2 are pretty good. Yep. A year that was shaping up till 2 or 3 weeks ago as being well below average. I think we've got 2 that can, we can say are pretty reasonable 2-year-olds. These 2 fillies, anyway. Well, especially the winner. The winner's better than second. I think I said on Friday I was going to start with She's Extreme. We got 850, so there's half the job done. Halves in price, and I said if we get 250 Fireburn, I'll level stake, and I ended up not doing it. I thought, no, I won't dilute that beautiful SP value, closing line value I've got on the winner. I'll just let it run. And yeah, we were home at the turn, weren't we? But no, she's got a nice turn of foot, this thing. Champagne Stakes is going to be picking money up off the ground if they go that way. I don't see why they wouldn't. And she might, it's fraught with danger saying this, maybe she'll train on. But not many of these, soft as butter colts that have won the slipper in recent years, that they're just going to be looking after to try and get that one Group 1 win as a 3-year-old to make them worth 100 million. There wasn't as much substance to them, horses like Farnan and whatever, stay inside, as there might be to this filly. She's now won the sires. Not many have done that in recent years. And if she wins the Champagne, I think they can press onto the spring with a degree of confidence.
Okay. Look, race 7 was the Australian Derby over 2,400 metres. In terms of the tempo, they've gone even once again, roughly 1.1 lengths slow on Punting Form's figures to the 600. And look, it was just a fascinating finish there over the concluding stages in the straight. We had the duel between Hitotsu, Benno and Allegron, and obviously Hitotsu has pretty much broken all the rules, so to speak, in terms of horses now winning 3 Group 1s on the trot and 2 out of 2 for this prep. Rob Scurry, you first time seeing Hitotsu, what did you think of him?
I thought it was a lovely staying type of horse. I thought it was clearly on top. From Allegron, which I thought looked well, and I thought Clyde paraded much better than it did at Newcastle, so I had a small play on that. But Hitotsu, Japanese bred, Japanese prep, proper horse. Like I thought it was in big trouble at the 300. I thought we're going to get beaten by the little pony in Benno. It's a tiny little thing, but yeah, he somehow managed to just grit his teeth and willed himself over the line. I'd love to see it clash with the Godolphin Animo over 2000 at some stage. That'd be not going to happen probably, but exciting horse, and I just hope they don't rush him off to stud too soon. But in saying all that, is there much in the race? Probably not.
Well, that is a good point. You had the three there within 1 length, and then fourth was 9 lengths further away. But Kieran Maher did say on RSN this morning that obviously the Cox Plate is the obvious target coming up this spring. He's not adverse to racing it in the Melbourne Cup, but he does have a view going forward, given the breeding, to looking at the Japan Cup. So something to look forward to, Rob. Mark Shean, now you're obviously in favour of Benno there. You must have had some interesting thoughts there down the straight.
Well, as George Cassander said once, that he felt it move, and I felt it move there when Benno hit the front with the 300. But I've got to say, it was very short-lived.
Oh.
Look, I thought Hitotsu might be the one struggling there with the preparation at the end, and got that totally wrong. Boy, oh boy, that's a great training performance, isn't it, to win 2 derbies off a very similar preparation with the spaced runs. He was pushed wide on the turn. It was a sitting shot for Benno, ran past him, and he came again strongly, and even got a heavy bump from Malagron there over the concluding stages to make matters worse for him, man. But as you pointed out there, 9 lengths to the fourth horse, so there does look to be a question mark over the depth of the form, but you can't doubt the winner's ability and also fighting qualities as well.
Yeah, and I'll just get a quick point of view on what did you view of him in the yard?
Look, he's not a big, strong, robust type by any means, is he, Rob? He's more like a fine sort of Maurice. A lot of these Maurices are a little bit on the small side that I've seen. What do you think, Rob?
I thought he had most of his power in his front quarter, which I like to see in a stayer. He had a lovely balance about him too, and head, and I like the way he carried himself and the way he walked in the yard. I thought he oozed quality.
Yep, I think that's a good call. All right, Mark Rhoden, what did you think? And is there really anything to take out of this race outside of the fact that the winner is very, very good?
All I'm taking so far is, the winner's very good. The training performance, as we have said more than once, is incredible. They really know what they're doing, don't they? Going forward, my initial thoughts are I would much rather be with Animo than him over 2000 in the Cox Plate next year, would be my initial thought. Japan Cup, have you seen some of the weight for age horses they got over there? I mean, he wouldn't be winning a Japan Cup, would he?
No.
Okay. Well, yeah.
I don't think so. We were with the Betfair function, and then Brenton Abdullah said they're just beasts. The Japan Cups, the Japanese stayers are beasts, best in the world.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. I think that might be a bridge too far for him, but let's take nothing away from this performance. And it was a thrilling contest. I did spare a thought for Mark when Benno loomed up and was hailed the winner and then couldn't get the job done. But what he said before wasn't exactly the thought I had, but I did spare a thought.
well, I got a tingle as he fought back and won. I got the hairs on my arms stood up. It was very exciting. Maybe because I was invested as well. So that kind of might have affected me as well. But yeah, it's a thrilling finish, and I really loved the race. And it's always better when you win.
Absolutely. Speaking of trainers who know what they're doing, here's race 8, the TJ Smith, over 1,200 metres. Fast tempo, 3.5 lengths fast for class to the 600 metres. And I was watching the race, and as soon as Nature Strip just started heading Eduardo, probably mid-race, I thought, well, this is just not exactly what I wanted, having had a bet on Eduardo there. And, it was just Nature Strip at his best, 3.3 lengths the margin. Rob, how did they look?
Oh, they all look good. These are proper horses. Even the I like the way that the Newmarket winner paraded the Kiwi, which is run okay. The Rockin' Horse, he sort of pranced his way around beautifully. But Nature Strip just ambles around. He looked like he improved again. I set him out on top. Eduardo was doing his little head nod thing. He was ready to go. And Palele, like it was in the the other week he seemed to parade really, really well. He's like he's turned the corner in the yard, and look, Bellucci Babe is obviously in very, very good form. All good horse. I don't know what to do with Masked Crusader though. He looks fabulous, but maybe he's just lost the zest for the contest. He's seems to have had enough. I don't want to see something from him before I back him, but the top three are some of the best. The top two obviously top sprinters in the world. Nature Strip is amazing. Kind of 260, 270. What was I doing? Should have been push.
Mark Shean, there's been a lot of talk over the last 48 hours as to whether or not Nature Strip is the second best sprinter in the last 20 years or so behind Black Caviar. What's your thoughts?
Well, he's not as consistent as Black Caviar, is he? She kept winning, and he doesn't, once every couple of runs. But look, watching this race live, I through the binoculars, I thought they were walking in this race, and I was shocked when Nash handed up. Maybe those figures that you mentioned there don't agree with what I was looking at on race day, but just when he seemed to amble to the lead and get no pressure, it looked like the race was over at the 800. Maybe they thought Eduardo was a risk at 1,200 if they took him on, and it's still 470,000 to run second. So maybe they're just trying to get into his slipstream and try and go with him late. But it seemed that Eduardo seems to go better when he eyeballs him and gets in a dogfight with him, which didn't happen here. So, as I said, I thought the race was over a long way from home. And nothing else at the back of the field just seemed to get into the race.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. That's exactly what I was saying to myself during the race. Mark Rhoden, if we look at pure data, Nature Strip is almost unequivocally the second best behind Black Caviar in the last 15, 20 years. But if I'm playing devil's advocate, can I just suggest that he hasn't beaten anything? He's just beating the same horses week in, week out, and really probably the better sprinters I think that I've seen over my racing career were all in the past, and we've actually just got limited stocks these days. Am I right or am I wrong?
I think it's extremely harsh. Have a look at some of the fields Black Caviar beat. Moment of change just jumped into my mind when you were saying that. I mean, she's unequivocally the best of the last, since, I don't know, Vane or something. But not every field she beat was star-studded. Eduardo is a very, very good horse, and he's had great battles with him, and I think he's ahead of him on the scorecard and always in grand finals. He just seems to have, when it's grand final day, it just has this super high cruising speed, and maybe Eduardo should go with him, but they just don't want to. They obviously think they're going too fast. Look at the last 200s. Eduardo's run 13. He had nothing more to give, and if he'd taken him on, maybe that gets Nature Strip beaten as well, but it certainly gets Eduardo beaten if he duelled him. Nature Strip's only around 12.8. They must have been going hard. It doesn't look like it because he travels so well, but it must have been a fast pace and just put everything else out of business, didn't it?
Yep. I think that's a good way of putting it. Okay, race 9. Look, this is just a fascinating race. It was a fascinating race to do form for, and it was a fascinating race to watch. But the Doncaster 1600 Group 1, 1.5 lengths fast to the 600, so basically an even tempo. And Mr. Brightside, who I'm still chastising myself for backing in the Blamey to beat Zaki, an inspirational girl. But fascinating, isn't it, that all-style mile form has come straight to the fore here on a heavy track. It's still fascinating to look at after the race. Rob, how do they look?
Again, a bit like the TJ, most of them look really, really well. I sent out 8 numbers, no bet.
Yep.
And Mr. Brightside was in it, and I backed about 6 of them personally, so I was kicking myself. Even Forbidden Love, I just thought, I just didn't want to jump on. The money's come for her big time. She's SP 320. She didn't sweat. She looked amazing. The best I'd seen her. Wet track. She's down in weight. How does she not win? But she didn't. Old mate Dalistan looked sensational again. He's run close up. Ice Bath, Thunderstruck, Ellsberg. They all pretty much look good. But yeah, I'm a bit dirty. I didn't have something on this myself. Mark Shean.
Yeah, the Sydney form did not hold up here with those lead-ups that Forbidden Love had won. And I think the key to Mr. Brightside was he got left there at Flemington and he got jagged right back into the field in a slowly run race, and he was able to jump a lot better and take up a more prominent position, which In hindsight, you go back and look at that run at Flemington, and it was probably a better run than it looked, considering, getting left and getting in a bad spot. Unfortunately, I didn't find him, though. I had him just on the cusp to back, but didn't. So I've done my money on the race. But maybe those horses coming through Melbourne, not having those runs on the heavy track, were maybe a little bit fresher coming into it. That's only a theory you could have, but they've run 1, 2, 3 out of that race in Melbourne. Ice Path, ridden a bit close in Melbourne. She went a little bit better here back on dry ground, or back on wetter ground, I should say. And I agree with Rob Dallasan, looked amazing in the yard and ran an honest race. But, hard to really see anything from the back there, apart from Cascadian, who I thought the tempo was against, and he made up good ground. But, he's a hard horse to catch.
Yep. Mark Rhoden?
Look, I don't often get emotional about racing these days in my old age, but I was close to tears after this race, hearing the story of these two underprivileged brothers who left school early and worked down the mines or something, and somehow managed to get into horse training and won a Group 1 now. It's just a beautiful story. Great for racing. My takeaway was the All-Star Mile form. Dry track preps, maybe a fitness thing, although Ice Bath obviously was just a hit-run mission and she's run really well. Don't know. I thought I didn't get any money out of the race. Ice Bath was the closest I came, but I was half indicated in my opinion that Forbidden Love had been to the top maybe 3 runs ago in the Canterbury and was just edging back ever since. A lot of people disagreed with me. She was at, I think, 460 into 330. I mean, that's an extraordinary move in a Doncaster, really, in a market that liquid. So that was the one they wanted. Thought she more or less had a chance. But the market certainly underestimated the All-Star Mile form. I'm thunderstruck, although he was second favourite, went up a lot shorter, went up very close to Forbidden Love, in fact, and there was a big gap between them in betting at jump time.
Okay, that brings us to the last, which is the 1200 metre PJ Bell, Group 3, even tempo, 0.4 lengths fast to the 600, and it was a great push from Mark Shean there in the preview here. And, the horse only just got there in the Godolphin first 4. You had to take a moment to work out which one you were on, but it was definitely well found. But, Rob, you also found it out of the yard.
Yeah, I thought it looked great. I remember seeing this thing win Adelaide one day in at Morpheville. It did me. But yeah, I don't know. Just stood out to me. I thought the one looked great as well. Arcaded, this is a big price, so I had a bit on that. But yeah, look, I think I said at the top of the show, the Godolphin have really turned the corner, and you can't do 5 in the race and you run the first 4 is an amazing effort. Yeah, I'm not sure what level this is, sort of Group 3-ish. I guess that's what it is. I think she's probably the one going well. I think if Arcata gets a soft track again, she should go well. But yeah, I'm just good to get a winner on the last. Probably understaked it. Mark Shean.
Yeah, look, she flew this winner. She got a long way back. She's run a very good split on my figures, and just there, the 300 Nash was still had the hold. I said, let it go, for Christ's sake. Anyway, she got the job done. The best I've seen Zapateo Parade this time in. I've only seen it twice, but definitely thought she looked a lot better on Saturday. So maybe she's looking for a drier track. She had a chance there, but I think Heresy's right at the top of the game. And a great training performance from James Cummings, as I mentioned on Friday. He does this a lot with this mid-prep trial, and he did it with Honeycreeper as well, and they both won, and they both trialled outstandingly going into the race, and Heresy, thank God, won the last.
Yes, indeed. Mark Rhoden, that trial is looking pretty good so far. You got Heresy and O President, the first 2 in that trial, and they both came out and won in the last 7 days. Yeah,
and O President smashed the clock at Newcastle on Monday. This has run the best, certainly the fastest last 600 on punting forms data for the whole meeting on Saturday, and very close to the fastest 4 and 2 as well. So great performance. Yeah, I thought Nash was cutting it very fine, but yes, God bless him and the filly. They got it done. I think, the sort of freshen up the trial and the drop back in distance was very attractive, and I expect they're going to try and keep her fresh and go to Adelaide now, and either the fillies race or the Sangster. Why not go to Sangster? I think she's got a great turn of foot. She'd be in that race.
For sure. Okay, that brings us to the end. I'll get a horse to follow from each of you. But Mark Shean, I'll start with yourself.
Oh, the thing that won the Carbine Club Straight Arrow, and if it goes to the Packer Plate, it'll win, and it'll win the Derby in Brisbane, I reckon. If it goes there, it's an absolute beast looking at it.
Okay.
Totally untapped, this horse.
Great push. Mark Rhoden?
Yeah, but Straight Arrow was mine. He's very, very good. The horse that beat him at Warwick Farm isn't bad either, Lock Eagle. I got on the right side of that race and was on Lock Eagle that day, but Straight Arrow was first up into that, and Lock Eagle was second up.
Okay.
I don't think you'll beat him again.
No, I think Straight Arrow will probably, will prove to be the better of the two, but Lock Eagle's a nice horse too, and got a good racing style. He'll win his share of races as well, I reckon.
Beautiful. And Rob, the horse to follow out of the yard?
I'm struggling. Honeycreeper, maybe. But yeah, I'll just take it as it comes, mate. We've got wet tracks, another week of wet tracks, so I don't know. They're all trained up. Most of them are at the top. It's hard to find anything that doesn't look good. Most things look good at the moment.
Yeah, that's it. But the wet tracks you mentioned, you've got obviously Hawkesbury Tuesday, Canterbury Wednesday, Wyong Thursday, Newcastle, and day 2 of the championships on Saturday. Mark Shean, is there one of the Group 1s or one of the races in general you're looking forward to most of all?
Well, the Queen Elizabeth's on this week, and there's the big question mark hanging over Animo, who's been reported that he had a temperature, hasn't missed any work, but he's gone for a bath in the bedding as a result. Very Elegant now the favourite, and everyone's expecting Very Elegant to do what Nature Strip did and then jump out of the ground and bolt in. Is that going to happen or not? What do you think?
Look, it's an interesting question, and probably one of, if not the most cynical member of the mailbag crew, who doesn't appear on this show, wanted to know about the propensity of that stable to get horses to peak on grand final day. The difference with Nature Strip, I think, is he's got, these wins aren't outliers for him. I mean, he maybe they're once a prep, but he's done it for a few years now, put in performances like this. Very Elegant on Melbourne Cup Day there's total outlier, nothing to back that up. Now, is she going to be on the same sort of whatever prep this week and get her to do that on Saturday? If she runs like she does in the Melbourne Cup, she's a $1.40 chance.
Well, we've got Douay might be going there as well. Now, it was very unlucky in the weight for age race that Very Elegant won there at Randwick about a month ago.
Yes.
If it had been on the outside and had clear running, it would have dead set bolted in.
Yes.
So it's going to come back from Newcastle apparently and maybe contest this race, which adds another dimension to the race, possibly bypassing the Sydney Cup where it only had 51 kilos to run in this race. It's going to be a fascinating race.
Well,
they let Kay McAvoy out of his booking for her in the Sydney Cup, which certainly suggests they're leaning towards the QE. But, just on that Douay versus Very Elegant thing, that's Douay versus Very Elegant 2. If Very Elegant 1 turns up, it wins, I think. But makes it sort of hard to bet in.
What about we get the 100 mils, and what about old Stockman?
Oh, Rob,
what about Stockman?
No, I'm being a bit facetious, but we're going to get 100 mils, so, who knows what's going to happen. There's going to be flooding up and down the coast. That put Douay out of play, and Very Elegant maybe is the,
Yeah, but hang on, is Very Elegant really a wet tracker? Her best ever run was on a highway over 3,200 metres, not on a wet track.
Yeah, as you were saying, she was very well trained up that day.
It's a great race. Looking forward to it. We'll preview it on Friday. Until then, guys, enjoy the week. Go well.